Good afternoon, everybody. I hope everyone's having a fabulous Friday so far. I'm looking forward to a lovely day here live at the waterhole with an elephant pool party starting off our day. So we started off in Tembe Elephant Park in Maputoland, South Africa. My name is Kerry Dupree and I'll be your guide for the afternoon. So really looking forward to seeing what we can find out there, and I don't think there's a better way to spend a Friday afternoon than here live at the waterhole. So just a reminder, folks, that this is a live and interactive experience. You can watch us on our app. If you're watching this on the website, you could register to ask any questions. Let us know what you'd like to see today. Join in the chitter-chatter. Let me know what snack you have decided to munch on during the show. You can also use the QR code on the screen now, and there is also an option to send those questions and comments through via our WhatsApp line, which will be displayed on screen as well during the show. How lovely to see an elephant pool party over in Tembe. I cannot remember the last time I witnessed a pool party at this location. How exciting. Oh my goodness, look at this elephant bull. He's completely submerged in the water. He just has his tusk. You can almost see, his tusk was just sticking out of the water. We'll have a bit of just a quiet moment just to listen to these elephants splashing about, having a fabulous sunny pool party. Lots of activity here over in Tembe today. Temperatures must be rising. I know over in Mabula this week was quite warm. Back in Johannesburg at the moment, and summer has definitely arrived, and the elephants are showing us that too. In the winter months, elephants they're not so keen to have a pool party. It's a little bit chilly, a little bit cold and windy during the days, especially in August. August winds can discourage one from wanting to get anywhere near the water besides for a drink. So lovely to see these elephants having a swim. We have some comments coming through. Des says, wow, this is one busy waterhole. Spring is here. I agree with you, Des. Spring definitely is here. I'm looking forward to trading in my layers and layers of clothes for a swimming costume and spending some time pool partying, just like these elephants. How lovely. Thank you for your comment, Des. We have another comment from Samson. Samson says, this always makes you happy. Samson, this does make me happy too. Oh, look at these elephants. Oh my goodness. Oh wow, this does just bring a smile to your face, doesn't it? Seeing these oversized, large mammals just acting like little children, having a good swim, rolling all over the place, just enjoying themselves. What a lovely sight to see. Tono is asking how many elephants are in Tembe Elephant Reserve. So Tono, Tembe Elephant Reserve is a very, very popular hotspot for elephants. I do love these elephants in the sand forests of Tembe Elephant Park. They do have some massive tuskers. I've been there before. I would recommend to anyone traveling to South Africa, if you get a chance to go to Tembe Elephant Park to see some huge elephant tuskers, it's definitely worth the visit. So as of 2025, the recent count of the elephants in the reserve, I know it is difficult to get an approximate count on elephants because they move so much, but a rough estimate is about 140 to 150 elephants that do reside in the sand forests of Tembe Elephant Park. So this reserve is renowned for housing some of the largest elephants in southern Africa, and it does include 7 of the big tuskers that are still remaining in southern Africa. So incredible tuskers. Some of these tuskers in Tembe Elephant Park have been recorded to have tusks weighing over 45 kilograms each side. So some very, very big bulls in this national park. And they're all coming down to show us how warm it is and how fun it is to be an elephant when you have a pool party. How delightful. So Benji is asking, do other animals act like this around the water? So Benji, yes, lots of other animals spend time in, around and near the water. So obviously waterholes are like these little meeting, greeting places for animals where they like to come and need to come to drink after a long hot day. But you get lots of animals that mud bath. So you'll get buffaloes, rhino, warthogs love to mud bath. I've seen hyenas having a nice pool party as well. So hyenas also spend some time in the water. But animals will have to be careful. I mean, mud bathing and wallowing in such a big body of water, like, it's two different things, because generally you might have a crocodile or two in water like this. I mean, I don't think this pan has any crocodiles. I've never seen any signs or any crocodiles in this particular pan. But yeah, all animals out there, smaller mammals, would need to be careful of any lurking crocodiles. So if a hyena could be taken out by a big crocodile if a hyena came to swim in this pan. But yes, lots of animals do like to have a bit of a swim if it is safe and free of crocodiles. But elephants don't need to necessarily worry about crocodiles. There's not too many crocodiles I know that will take on an elephant. Ooh, looks like we've got a bit of interaction. These two bulls on the left look like they want to have a bit of a joust. Oh, look at these boys having such a great time. I love how their color changes. So they obviously see they're much darker once they've been in the water. When elephants also go into mineral areas where they mud bath themselves, they also look golden and painted, almost as if they've been painted with different colors of soil and sand. Oh my goodness, how cool is this? So we have a question from Hannah. Hannah is asking, what is the female version of a tusker? So Hannah, generally you don't get female tuskers. I've never seen a female elephant with very big, I don't think there's ever been recorded a female elephant as a tusker. I mean, most female elephants don't normally have as long tusks as males. So male elephants are known for having much longer, thicker tusks than females. In fact, in female elephants, it's becoming a lot more regular that we're seeing these female tuskless elephants. So it's all about genes and genetics. So these big male elephants here in Tembe, obviously it's a preserved like a reserved and preserved population. And because this genes and the genetics are being preserved, that's how one generation can pass on these impressive genes of big male elephants, and that's how they're getting their very long tusks. I think it also has a lot to do with the salts and minerals. There's a lot of very sodak-rich or sodium-rich soils in these areas that the elephants spend a lot of time mining in for these salts in the sand, and that also can be a contributing factor to why these elephant bulls have such long, healthy tusks in Tembe Elephant Park. Isn't this crazy? Look at those two bulls. They're almost playing with each other. Have a look. We're looking at these sodak areas right now. So all these little holes and depressions, these are areas that the elephants, when coming down to have a drink, they'll also spend a lot of time mining. So they'll use their feet to dig in these holes, and then their trunk to soak up that soil that is rich in minerals and salts. So it's like this pans and waterholes not just provide a water for these animals, but they're almost like a, should we say, like a rehydration bar. For rehydrating, getting in those salts and minerals, like a mineral bar. That's why these areas around waterholes, if it's a sodak area, they're generally protected areas, and we must at all costs avoid driving on these sodak areas because it can damage the sodak areas. So it's something that is super important for these animals to get in those salts and minerals. Look at these elephants. They are having the best time.
this leopard that we're looking at is known by the name of Hlalamba.
At Wild Earth, we believe every story has the power to create change. That's why we've launched the Wild Earth Impact Foundation, a non-profit dedicated to conservation and social impact. By showcasing conservation stories, we can change lives, protect nature, and empower communities. We have partnered with Empowers Africa to accept tax-deductible donations from US donors. Your donation will help fund critical programs that support our mission. Join us and be part of the change.
So we were just speaking about waterholes and the sizes of waterholes, and interesting here how at Eldonyo we've got a very small waterhole, but there's one elephant and he seems to be very friendly. Oh, or maybe not. So elephants can be very boisterous. They can dominate and really take over a waterhole, just like zebra. Zebra are also quite feisty creatures. They will often chase other animals away from a waterhole. So yeah, other antelope, other herbivores take second place when it comes into the waterhole, unfortunately. Oh, look, a young oryx. Isn't that cool? So I've just got a message through from Catherine. Thank you, Catherine, for sending this information. Apparently there was one famous tusker, a female tusker, that was in Tsavo Game Reserve, but she died a few years ago. Thank you for that information. I had no idea there was a female tusker. I mean, it's not impossible for female elephants to have very long tusks. It's just more common in the males. But yeah, very interesting article. Thank you very much for that. So there we go. We have an answer to our question about female tuskers that Hannah asked earlier. So I hope that answers your question there, Hannah. I've seen some elephants with very unusual tusks as well. So you do get females with very unusual tusks. Sometimes their tusks might crisscross underneath their trunks. Sometimes they might only have one tusk. As I mentioned, you get completely tuskless females, which is very common nowadays. So yeah, they do have a lot of different variations that their tusks can grow in. I mean, I think there's one male elephant, no, it's a female that comes into Eldonyo that has her tusks crisscrossing underneath her trunk there. Must be quite difficult for her to use her tusks as a tool or to feed with those tusks of hers. So often if elephants have deformities in their tusks, or tuskless individuals sometimes are a little bit thinner, or maybe not as in great condition as other individuals, because it does hinder their ability to feed if they don't have those tusks to help them. So Catherine commented that the female tusker in El Doño, in Tsavo, her name was Dida. And she is a very impressive female elephant. I've never seen a female elephant with such long tusks. So if you want to do yourself a favor, go and give a Google female tusker elephant. I think Tsavo tusker Dida dies. Fortunately, she did die of natural causes, so it is on an African Geographic website. You can go and have a look for Dida, the female elephant there. How interesting. Thank you so much for sharing. I do love being on Live at the Waterhole. You learn so many new things every single day. And here the zebra coming in. This female giraffe better come down for a drink quickly, otherwise the zebra are going to take up all the space at the waterhole. Come on, girl, let's come down for a drink. Does look like a fabulous day over in El Doño. Nice blue skies, a little bit of cloud cover, and nice variety of game coming down to have a drink. So we got a question from Hanuru, is asking if giraffe eat fruit. So Hanuru, giraffe, they're very strange and interesting creatures, giraffe. So of course giraffe mostly feed on the leaves of these acacia trees. They feed on acacias. I've seen them eating combretum. Those are, I'd say, probably the two primary tree species that they feed off the leaves. Oh, knobthorns as well. But giraffe also really like feeding on flowers. So giraffe will feed on flowers of the knobthorn, which are these very fluffy, almost yellow colored flowers. At Mabulla recently I saw giraffe feeding on the Dumbea rotundifolia flowers, or the African wild pear flowers, which was quite cool to see them feeding on these flowers. And I saw a picture recently of a giraffe eating a piece of a sausage tree fruit, so of the Kigelia africana, which completely surprised me. I would have thought it was AI, but yeah, it was from quite a good photographer, or not even a photographer, a friend that I know. Would have never thought of a giraffe eating a sausage fruit. How unusual. So yes, Hanuru, giraffe do feed on fruit. In the dry times, the dry season, some animals will resort to feeding on berries, fruit, seeds and pods in order to substitute their diet in these times when there's not too much food around. What a lovely scene this is. Shame, I hope the giraffe doesn't get a fright from the zebra. This elephant bull is being patient with the zebra, but I feel like any moment he could flick his trunk at the zebra and give the zebra a bit of a fright, which the giraffe will also be frightened quite quickly. So BBC is asking, you haven't seen Kilimanjaro for a while, what have you done with it? So BBC, the cloud cover in Kenya has been, I think it's probably the time of the year. Seems to be a lot of cloud cover lately. That's why we're maybe not seeing the mountains in the background. But yeah, that is a very good point, BBC. We have not seen the mountains for quite a while. I think it must be the building up of all of the rains due to come. Also during the dry season, I know in Mabulla we had lots of very hazy days where it was very hazy from all the dust. Also from all the might be fires around, can cause quite a thick haze which can hinder your visibility during these dry seasons. So Tilly has asked a question. Please remind me of your princess name. So Tilly, while I was in Mabulla, we found a very beautiful tree, this Dumbea rotundifolia, which is the tree, the wild pear tree that I mentioned. This giraffe loves to feed on the flowers, and they're beautiful blossoms. They almost look like cherry blossoms or peach blossoms. So Cam and I decided that would make a really good princess name. So my princess name from now on shall be Princess Dumbea rotundifolia. Just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Unlike some scientific names. Some scientific names definitely don't roll off the tongue, but I quite like that one, I must say. I think the Afrikaans name is Bloembeisie. Something about blooms. That's quite a few interesting Afrikaans names. So if we have any South Africans watching, I don't know if you know the Bloembeisie tree. I might be saying it completely wrong, so apologies for that. But these giraffe love to feed on those beautiful little flowers. So Spice is asking, have you ever wished to visit Kilimanjaro, Kerry? So Spice, yes, I am quite a hiker. I do love my hiking. And Kilimanjaro was on my list, but I've had a few friends that have climbed Kilimanjaro and they said, Mount Kenya is just as beautiful. Obviously it is quite costly to go up Kilimanjaro, and you do need to book sometimes years in advance because it is a very, very popular hike. The hiking season is also very limited as well. So I think I'd definitely like to climb Mount Kenya, but I'd love to hear from our viewers. If we have any viewers that have hiked up Kilimanjaro or Mount Kenya, which one would you recommend to be your preferred hiking destination? I've heard both of them, both mountains, Kilimanjaro and Mount Kenya, both incredible hikes, very beautiful, quite scenic as well. So I'd love to hear from our viewers. If you have any hikers out there that have hiked one of them or hiked both of them. It does take quite a lot of training to prepare to hike up these massive mountains. Oh, we got some warthogs joining us. I don't know if they're going to get in here, these little warthogs. The waterhole is quite full of zebra. What is our elephant doing? I feel like he's scratching his eye. So folks, for today, my subject or theme of the day, I would like to talk about cheetah. Obviously at Mabulla, Cameron and I had a very awesome opportunity to be involved in a bit of the cheetah developments on Mabulla, which was really exciting. So if any of our viewers would like to ask any questions about the cheetah and the cheetah updates at Mabulla, please feel free to send through those comments. But some of the information I wanted to share with you about cheetah today is basically, so cheetah are one of the most, quite a rare species or predator in Africa. So the cheetah global population is estimated to be between 7 to 10,000 individuals. Somewhere I have seen 6,000, so it could be between 6 to 10,000 individuals left. So cheetah are obviously very much are targeted by larger predators. That's why their populations are so low. So they do suffer with their cubs being eaten by lions, hyena, jackal, leopard. They really do struggle. So that's why their populations are so low. So cheetah do reside in southern and eastern Africa. And just to give you a bit of information about the cheetah meta population. So this is where the cheetah have come from that have just arrived on Mabulla. And this cheetah meta population project is a collaborative conservation initiative which does aim for the long-term survival of cheetah. And they basically started in 2023 and it has grown to over 400 individuals. Which is absolutely incredible that they're doing so well. And they're basically like a rehoming organization for cheetah within South Africa, and they rehome cheetahs onto reserves, private reserves that are fenced, where it is safe for them to live. So yeah, it's really incredible, and they keep track of all these cheetah. They have a database so that there's no inbreeding. They keep track of where these individuals are. So it's incredible work that is being done by the EWT, so the Endangered Wildlife Trust does play quite a pivotal role in maintaining and managing this cheetah meta population.
Oh, wow. What does it take to handle the wild? Balance. Determination. Focus.
Yaku!
And gear that can take a beating so you don't have to.
My full name is Maxine Gaines. Best part of the job, gosh, I just love everything about guiding. I love being able to observe animal behavior and animals behaving naturally. So for me, that's by far the best part of the job. And so what we do here at Wild Earth is develop those connections with the people that are viewing and maybe just light a little spark that says, you know what, I want to be involved in protecting this ecosystem.
So we're just chatting about cheetah today, folks, and I'm reading some information about the Cheetah Endangered Wildlife Trust. So they don't just relocate cheetah within South Africa. There have been some translocations of cheetah. In 2024, they did actually help to facilitate the relocation of cheetah between South Africa, Malawi, and also Lwande National Park. So it's incredible that this Endangered Wildlife Trust, they do so much work with helping to relocate these endangered predators that do need new homes. So a big shout out and big thanks to the EWT, the Endangered Wildlife Trust, for all their work that they've done and for also helping to relocate some new cheetah for us on Mabula. Really excited to get to know these individuals and follow their stories. So we have another question from Macy. Macy's asking, they're such delicate big cats. So Macy, yes, cheetah are very delicate big cats, and that's why they become prey or can very easily fall prey to larger cats, because cheetah, they are very lightweight. Females weighing about between 35 to 40 kilograms. A big male is weighing maybe 55 to 60 kilograms. They have hollow bones, and they're designed to be very light so that they can cover very fast distances at a very quick speed. So they can move very quickly, but they don't have strong jaws, they don't have strong bones. So up against a lion, female lioness weighing 120 to 160 kilograms, a big male lion over 200 kilograms, they really don't stand much of a chance. I mean, even those cheetah at Mabula, the brown hyena would chase the cheetah off of their kills. So yeah, unfortunately they're designed for speed and agility, but they're not necessarily designed for conflict with other predators. So Timmy is asking, how do you differentiate the sex of giraffe? It's a very good question, Timmy. So here we are having a look at a female giraffe. The female giraffe have quite narrow ossicones, generally curving inwards, very fluffy on the tops of the ossicones. Have a look, she's got quite a lot of fluff, quite a lot of fur on the top there, whereas the male giraffe have quite thick ossicones, generally pointing straight upwards or arching out a little bit. And the male's ossicones from fighting sometimes are bald on top. I mean, the young males might have a little bit of fur around, but generally as they sexually mature, those ossicones or the horns of theirs that they have on top of their heads there, the males are bald, females are fluffy. Males also have much thicker necks and shoulders than the females do. and generally males can be darker, although I have seen some very dark female giraffes. It's not necessarily males that are darker than females. Yes, in most cases they are, but you do get older females that can be quite dark as well. But this is a lovely female giraffe. Ooh. Our floppy-eared elephant friend just chased away the warthogs. For some reason, he doesn't want to share his waterhole with these warthogs. So Penelope Kenyon says, Kerry, there are wonderful horse trails around Mount Kili. Oh, Penelope, I wonder if you've been on these trails around Kilimanjaro, Penelope. I'd love to know if you've actually been on these trails. Oh, it would be my dream to ride horses in Kenya and around Kilimanjaro. That would also be quite fabulous. I know Kenya and Tanzania are very well known for their horseback safaris. In fact, Kenya, Tanzania and Botswana, I think, come in at the top 3 countries in Africa to visit for horseback safaris. I mean, if you are into horseback safaris, but normal safaris also. Incredible diversity and ecosystems filled with predators and lots of action and activity. Lovely places to go while on safari. Cool. An impala. My goodness, I cannot remember the last time I saw an impala in Aldania. She seems a bit nervous. She looks like she's got a little bit of a belly on her, so the impala lambs will probably be pregnant, waiting to drop their calves in November, December, as soon as the rains start to fall. So Theo is saying Aussie cones seem so unnecessary. So Theo, Aussie cones are actually very, very important. They act as these little tools or weapons for the males when fighting with one another. They are quite formidable little weapons. Some male ossicones even have lumps and bumps around them, so male giraffes' heads almost act as a bit of a hammer when it comes to fighting with other males. So very important and very, for the males, especially in dominance displays, they use those heads of theirs like mallets or hammers to injure their opponents. So they are quite important, not just for fighting, but also to gauge sexual maturity. As I mentioned, young bulls might still have a little bit of fluff around the edges of their ossicones, but you know, if a bull is sexually matured, if he's of age, then he generally will have completely bald ossicones. I have quite a few comments and questions coming in. So Bill is asking, Kerry, where did the cheetah at Mabulla come from? So Bill, the 2 male cheetahs, as far as I understand, the male cheetahs came from the Waterberg, northern Waterberg, same as Q. So all the cheetah on Mabulla are all from the northern Waterberg area. And yeah, very excited for when they get released from their boma into the reserve. If we're lucky, maybe we'll be able to film their release. Leo is asking, who comes up with the names for the cheetah? So Leo, Mabulla, the reserve team, so I've spent quite a lot of time with the reserve team on Mabulla, chatting to the researchers and the reserve managers. They're not really so keen on the whole naming of their animals at Mabulla. You know, once you name animals, you generally tend to get a bit attached. But I know our Wild Earth community, and I enjoy naming animals because it helps you to identify different individuals, to remember them. So the naming process for the cheetah, I think it's been decided by the board of Mabulla. So the board of directors at Mabulla are going to be sitting down and deciding the names of those individuals. They'll let us know what the names of the new boys will be as soon as they have decided on the names. We have decided to start calling Q Queen because she definitely does look like a queen of Mabulla to me. She has a very strong queen personality. Look at these zebra all coming in. Oh my goodness. And this floppy-eared elephant bull is also very thirsty. It's been here for quite a while. So Sarah has sent through a comment. Sarah says, "Hi Kerry, I grew up in Kenya and without a doubt Mount Kenya has more diverse flora than Kilimanjaro, and so much preferred hiking it." Sarah, thank you so much. I really appreciate that comment. Yeah, as I mentioned, I have a few friends that have climbed Kilimanjaro, and I would love to climb Kilimanjaro, but I do know a lot of people have recommended, listen, Mount Kenya, also an incredible hiking destination. So thank you for confirming that for me, Sarah. So if any of our viewers want to do a hiking trip and go and hike a giant mountain range in Kenya, definitely recommend Mount Kenya. Would be a very good option. I mean, Kilimanjaro is just, you only have one Kilimanjaro, so it's also incredible, but Mount Kenya I think would be absolutely incredible to hike. Ooh. We've got oryx, zebra, giraffe, and our elephant, and we also had warthogs earlier. Do love the diversity of wildlife that come down to Oldonyo. So Dolly Flop from the UK is asking, do you know how the cheetah and her cubs that were born in captivity are doing? So Dolly, we did check in with Tammy. So Tammy is our female cheetah over at the Hoedspruit Endangered Species Centre. Her cubs are growing up very, very quickly. Very cute little cubs she has there. We did check in with them earlier to see if they are visible, but unfortunately, well, it's kind of a good thing. She's been moved to a larger enclosure with her cubs so that they have more space, but unfortunately that does mean that viewing visibility for us is a bit difficult. But if you want to check in and go and see her, maybe some updates, the Hoedspruit Endangered Species Centre, I'm sure they put some updates of her on their Facebook and their Instagram pages. You can go and look for some updates, but unfortunately she's not quite visible. We also checked in with Heidi, the other female cheetah at the center, but she's also not quite visible today. So it is a good thing because that means they're in larger enclosures, larger areas where they can have more space. But yeah, it means we might not have the ability to always see them. Isn't this incredible? I'm very glad that this elephant bull is being so caring and sharing of his waterhole. So Timmy is asking a very good question. Timmy's asking, why do cheetah have tear marks? So Timmy, the reason why cheetah have those black tear marks down their face is due to the fact that they hunt out in open areas quite a lot, and that's to reflect the sunlight out of their eyes. So just like how baboons have modified eyebrows to keep the sun out of their eyes because they spend a lot of time out in open areas, same as cheetah, they have this adaptation and a physical adaptation that over many years they've adapted to being these apex predators, and those tear marks help to keep the sun out of their eyes so that it doesn't hinder their ability to see, because cheetah are mostly a diurnal species and they will hunt during the day. Yes, there have been recorded some recorded proof of cheetah hunting at full moon at night as well, but generally they'll hunt during the day, so they desperately need to have those tear marks down their face to reflect the sunshine out of their eyes. So I have an interesting question from Keith Johnson from Houston, Texas, USA, and Keith is asking, Miss Kerry, are you in front of a computer looking at the cams at the same time? Do you pick the cameras? Do you want us to see? Do you move them around yourself? Is someone talking in your ear? So Keith, yes, I am currently sitting behind a computer looking at these cameras, but no, there's a whole team of us. So we have a director today. Our director of the day is Mika, and Mika is the one who will be picking the cameras, deciding which locations have good signal. I do have an earpiece in my ear, so Mika can talk to me as well. And we have our tech team too, as well as all all the zoomies out there that make sure that the feeds are stable and the cameras are stable, and that also help us to move around the camera. So it's a whole team effort, Keith. If it wasn't for the rest of the team, I wouldn't be able to do my job. So I'm very grateful to the rest of the team for all their hard work. These zoomies sit out there on their cameras, or operating the cameras, trying to pick up on good sightings for us. The directors have to make sure that the feeds are all stable and see which is the best content we can link to. So very grateful to the whole Wild Earth team for making this show possible for us to sit and watch at home. Alrighty, so we are going to head across to Founder's Lodge. Some warthogs seem to have come down to the waterhole. So it looks like a quiet day over in Founder's Lodge in the Eastern Cape. Definitely not as much activity as we just had in Oldonyo. So it's a family of warthogs. This is a female on the left. See, she's got quite small little tusks compared to the males. Male warthogs do have much bigger tusks than females. And she's got her two little ones that are probably about 9 to 10 months old already. They're most likely born in the green season, so that's December or early January. So Karen is asking what I think about warthogs. Do you know a lot about them? Karen finds warthogs very cute. So Karen, the warthogs are very cute. I do love the fact that you can sit at a waterhole, watch warthogs mud bathing and mud wallowing for hours. They're incredible little creatures, and just as every animal out there, they do fulfill a very important niche in the ecosystem. So they dig up lots of roots and vegetation, helping to aerate the soil, especially during the dry season when there's not much food around. They'll eat roots, shoots and tubers, but during the rainy season when there's lots of grass, it's quite cool seeing warthogs walking through the open plains, just kind of nibbling on the tops of the grass seeds. They do love to feed on grass seeds in the rainy season. Cheetah are a predator of these warthogs. It's incredible how quick the cheetah have to be to catch these warthogs. Crocodiles will also take the chance to take down a warthog, but warthogs have exceptional speed. They can run for up to 20 to 30 kilometers an hour, and they also have the ability to turn very quickly, so they're also very agile. So even when a predator is hunting these warthogs, cheetah will generally hunt them in open plains, although they're not easy creatures to catch. Leopards will often wait at the den sites of these warthogs, hoping to catch them unexpectedly as they come in and out of the den. So that's why they are mostly not a diurnal species, and then they'll sleep in their dens at night for safety. Especially a family like this female warthog needs to protect her little ones. Alrighty folks, let's head across to Tao since our warthogs are leaving us. Alrighty, have a look here. We've got lots happening at Tao. Got a herd of impala coming down to drink, some zebra. Looks like we've got some common moorhens or Eurasian moorhens. We've got the blacksmith lapwing. African jacana. Maybe we find some shelled ducks.
The Wild Earth Impact Foundation is a non-profit that uses the power of wildlife storytelling as a force for good. We create sustainable development projects that showcase conservation stories, empower people, and inspire environmental action. As a registered South African PBO, you can make a tax-deductible donation to the Wild Earth Impact Foundation. To find out more, visit our website.
Would you like to know what an elephant's favourite food is? You could ask me questions like that in real time. Our safaris are live and interactive from the heart of Africa. Over here. Watch Safari Live and connect with nature.
Out here, every wild moment counts, and as a Wild Earth explorer, you won't miss a thing.
Incredible.
Watch the Wild Earth channel ad-free 24/7 and rewind if you want to catch something again. Enjoy behind-the-scenes videos, fireside chats, and early access to travel offers. The best way to stay connected and be part of the Wild Earth family.
Come down. So in the forest elephant studies that have been done, it shows that around these buys, or it's like a pan, so it's a forest version of a pan is known as a buy. These forest elephants will actually wait in the forest until someone is brave enough to go out into the open, and if they can hear other animals around, then they'll definitely come into the waterhole. And same applies for most of these herbivores. Sometimes herbivores might be very nervous to come down to a waterhole if there are no other animals around. Talking about herbivores, we also got a little herd of some juvenile wildebeest. Blue wildebeest have come down. Need to be careful of those crocodiles. There's a couple of big crocodiles at this pan. Very easily take down a wildebeest as long as the water levels allow. So Kaylin is asking a question. Kaylin, do you ever see cheetah coming down to the water like this? So Kaylin, yes, I believe there are 2 cheetah that live here at Tau. There's also a few lions on the reserve, so there is a healthy predator population on this reserve, on Madikwe Game Reserve, and I have seen the cheetah once. It was a very brief sighting, and again they were a little bit nervous to come down to the water. Cheetah would also be an easy kill for the crocodiles. So cheetah need to be so careful, just as these herbivores, just as like with giraffe. You'll notice some herbivores quite nervous, quite skeptical when coming down to the water, need to have all their senses and sights alert and aware so they don't get taken out by a predator. So Tinas is asking a question. Hello, Tinas. Tinas says, hello, Kerry. Do you have that red-crested flufftail that is Albert's farm at the moment? Tinas, I'm not too sure where Albert's farm is, and unfortunately I haven't seen a red-crested flufftail, but oh, check out crocodiles. There they are. But the sound of a red-crested flufftail really excites me. Very, very cool little bird. All those little ruffs and flufftails are very epic little birds to tick off your list. So, some exciting updates on these crocodiles here at Tau. Before I left for Mabulla, so that's probably about 2.5 weeks ago, there were some crocodiles that were mating. So, I think the gestation period of a crocodile before they start laying their eggs is about 3 weeks. So if we're lucky sometime soon, we'll keep a lookout for the behavior of these crocodiles. Maybe one of these female crocodiles might start nesting. Wouldn't that be cool? See some tiny little baby crocodiles at Tau. So Helga is commenting about our crocodiles here at Tau. Helga reckons that Tau is has the most laid-back crocodiles, where the antelope literally just step over them. So yes, Helga, I think these crocodiles here at Tau. They need to do some... they're definitely not like the crocodiles that are in the Masai Mara, eating and attacking wildlife at the moment. I think the crocodiles have quite a disadvantage in this pan at the moment because there's not much water. So when the crocodiles are out of the water, it's quite difficult for them to... They definitely won't try to kill or make a kill if they're out of the water because they're at a huge disadvantage. Crocodiles are most successful predators when they're in deep and thick water, and they can easily go up to the water's edge, wait patiently under that water and launch themselves out and catch their prey and pull their prey back into the water. Whereas in this area it's quite difficult to for these crocodiles. It's very shallow. I've seen them try to make a kill before, these crocodiles, but the water was they had a wildebeest and the water was just too shallow. Ooh, we've got another crocodile joining. So we've got 3 big crocodiles right here at the moment. So BBC says that we watched the Tau crocodiles mating a week or so ago. Where will they nest at Tau? It doesn't look ideal to me. BBC, I 100% agree with you, and I guess these crocodiles are still busy mating 3 weeks later. I guess there's a lot of mating activity happening over at Tau, which is probably what these crocodiles are doing right now. And I agree with you, BBC, there definitely is not much prime nesting banks for these crocodiles here. So these crocodiles are busy trying to create a new generation. So I'm not sure where these crocodiles are going to nest, but crocodiles have been on this planet for over millions of years. They definitely seem to find a way to survive wherever they occur. So Prinz is asking, why don't the crocodiles eat each other? So Prinz, I think, so you'll have larger crocodiles do eat small crocodiles, that does happen, but yeah, generally big, fully grown adult crocodiles won't see each other as prey, but nothing stopping a big crocodile from eating some little hatchlings. Looks like these crocodiles are still busy. I can't believe they're still mating 3 weeks later. We've got a comment from Tina. So Tina's commented about Albert's farm is in Randburg. So Tina's, I'm going to have a look for Albert's farm and try to go this weekend and find that fluff tail. Would be very cool to see a red-crested fluff tail. I don't have that one on my list, so thank you so much for that info, Tinas. I hope that you are also going to go and try and find that fluff tail. So obviously mating of crocodiles does take place in the water, same as mating with hippos. With hippos it's so that the male doesn't squash the female, probably similar scenario in crocodiles, but I would love to see a mating display of crocodiles. It's quite an elaborate and intricate mating display of crocodiles. So obviously before this phase that we're currently witnessing, so the crocodiles, the male, what he'll do is to attract the attention of the females, he'll be in deep water, he'll have his head kind of at the water, top of the water, his body will be underwater and his tail will be up, and they use very interesting vibrations in their body to make the water skip and jump above them. They'll often open their mouths as well, just as part of their little mating display. I've never witnessed this before. I've seen it being recorded, but never actually witnessed a crocodile mating display. Rather unusual behavior. Definitely think there's going to be some baby crocodiles soon at Tau.
Let's go and take a look. See you out there.
Do you want to know why impala are the most common antelope we find here in the Kruger National Park? You can ask me questions like this in real time. Our safaris are live and interactive here in the heart of Africa. Join me on Safari Live. Connect with nature.
Greatest wildlife spectacle on planet Earth. We'll see you there.
It is kind of suffocating this pan a little bit, making the water not as abundant. So we have a question from Jess. And Jess is asking, we're talking about mating displays, just like the crocodiles would have their mating displays. And Jess is asking, which African mammal has the most extravagant mating display? Jess, I'm not too sure. I think I'd have to go for a lion because they have such a large voice and they project their voice so much in order to, it's a dominance thing, attract females, but also to keep other males out. But lions do have quite a flashy visual display. The males will roar, mark their territory, they will fight any rivals to attract the females. Sorry folks, I think we had some trouble with our camera over a towel. I've got an elephant here at Rosie's pan. Looks like an elephant breeding herd has come down to the pan. Also for a nice midday bask. Mud bath. Maybe if we're lucky we'll have a pool party. I know buffaloes like to come and have a good pool party in this pan. So Ruben is asking about our crocodiles and their scutes, and the scutes and scales are the same. So Ruben knows. So scales, fish do have scales and they're not as hard as scutes like in crocodiles. So those scutes on the back of crocodiles are a very hard bony layer, and it's a form of armor and protection. Yes, scales on fish can help to protect their bodies, but the scutes on crocodiles are much thicker, very good form of protection. We have Yuri is commenting that ostriches are very dramatic and over the top with their displays. So yes, Yuri, ostriches are quite elaborate in their mating display. The birds of paradise, obviously it's not in Africa, but I know the birds of paradise, like that bowerbird, the satin bowerbird, they have incredible mating displays. But so do antelope. I mean, male kudu do have quite interesting ritualistic postures, same as the nyala, to attract the females. Flamingos do also have quite cool mating displays. African fish eagles, when the males will fly up into the air and lock talons and do the kind of like a death roll down through the sky. So yeah, there's incredible mating displays that are out in nature. It's amazing what the male mammals and male birds will do to attract the attention of those females. Oh, looks like our elephant. It does look quite hot here in Rosie's pan over in Olifant's game reserve. I'm glad this elephant is cooling himself down. Just listening to hear what we can hear. It sounds like we've got could be a Cape turtle dove calling. I wonder if this is a breeding herd or if it's just a few bulls. I can see a few individuals on the right hand side breaking some branches. Feeding on all this shrub vegetation. Have a look, yes, some elephants coming through. So as I mentioned earlier, this pan, I've once seen probably 50 to 70 buffalo all descend upon this pan, and you could not even see any water. So there is that big hippo bull that sometimes comes through and resides in this pan for a few days or a few weeks. But if he's in this pan when a whole herd of buffalo comes through, I would not want to be that poor hippo surrounded by a herd of buffalo all coming in for a swim and a drink. Ooh. So it does look like this is probably a bachelor bull breeding, a little bachelor bull herd. A few big elephant bulls roaming around together. So important for their social development this time that they spend together, all these big bulls. They get taught a lot of life lessons from these bigger, more mature bulls. Get put in their place, get taught some discipline, how to be elephants. Karen is asking what my favorite bird is. Oh, Karen, that is a very, very difficult question. There are so many birds that I love. I have to narrow it down to a family. I think I really love the bee eaters. I'm desperate to tick all the bee eaters in Africa off of my list. I think I only have a few left, but I do love bee eaters and kingfishers. I think I'm a very big fan of the bright and colorful birds. But Karen, I'd love to know what your favorite bird is, and any of our other viewers out there, please feel free to send me your favorite bird. I think my favorite, I do like big, pretty birds, so anything big and bright, colourful. So please send through your favorite bird. What is your favorite bird or your favorite bird lifer? Oh. There's a QR code is on screen, so you can scan that QR code and let me know what your favorite bird is. But it is sometimes rewarding when you manage to identify some of those little LBJs, because they're so difficult to identify. So sometimes you do feel quite good about yourself when you've managed to identify a tiny little LBJ that's just brown and small and pink legs. So yeah. But I do like my bright, big coloured birds. Hornbills, I do love the hornbill family as well. There's some very pretty hornbills out there. So Mark has sent through a comment. Mark's comment is, imagine if elephants shed like snakes. Oh gosh, Mark, I think that would be quite a traumatic thing to watch, elephants shedding their skins just like reptiles. So Mark, unlike mammals, mammals that have, I mean, just like with humans, our skin is such a massive organ, but mammals, as they grow, their skin stretches and grows with them, whereas snakes and reptiles, they need to shed their skin in order to grow and develop. Its shedding process needs to happen, especially when they're young. They shed their skin a lot more often. As they get older, they tend to slow down the growing rate, but as in crocodiles, they never quite stop growing. So Spas is asking, do elephants discipline their young? So yes, Spas, elephants, cows do discipline their young and kind of keep them in line, make them not disappear on their own. But even just with humans, adolescents, like juveniles or teenagers, can be quite naughty, and these young elephant bulls can be quite mischievous from time to time. I'm sure you've all been on a game drive and you get those young bulls that they know their mother's right behind them. They'll come and chase the vehicle, but the minute they realize, ooh, Mum is not there anymore to protect me, they very quickly turn around and disappear. So as we can see right here with these two elephant bulls jousting and jostling with each other, it's so important this time that they spend together, these big bulls, because there is a hierarchy amongst these bachelor groups, and the older bulls will be almost like mentors and help to give guidance to the younger bulls. Because female cow elephant can only discipline her youngster for so long until he becomes a naughty little young bull. Then it's up to these bachelor herds to keep those young bulls in place. So Karen's favorite bird is the hammerkop. Interesting choice, Karen. Yes, hammerkops do have quite an interesting character. I don't blame you for choosing them. The little DJ bird as they walk in the water there, trying to find some food. Hammerkop is a very cool bird. Karen also says you live in Australia and you do love sunbirds and cassowaries. Oh yes, Karen, cassowaries. I was just looking at cassowaries this morning. They are quite beautiful birds, must say. I'd love to see the Congo peacock. That's quite a big bird on my list, but of course the Congo peacock occurs in DRC. Very difficult and remote area to get to, but very beautiful birds out there. What are these bulls up to? See, they've had a great mud bath. That mud will cake their skin, protecting them from the sun, helping to rid them from parasites, exfoliating their skin. It's like an elephant spa. So Lee from the UK loves spurwing geese. They are fantastic birds. So yes, Lee from the UK, spurwing geese can be quite pretty, the males during breeding season. I like, my favorite goose is probably the pygmy goose. I do like those little pygmy goose. They are adorable. Lots of different colors. Alrighty, let's head back to Tembe. I believe our pool party is still happening.
Would you like to know at what age a buffalo calf gets its horns? These are questions that you can ask me in real time. Our safaris are live and interactive here in the heart of Africa. Join me on Safari Live and connect with nature.
Every month, something wild lands in your inbox. From rare sightings and behind-the-scenes secrets to expert stories, seasonal changes, and exclusive travel opportunities, the Wild Earth Journal is your free monthly mailer, packed with the magic of the wild straight from the field. It's fun, it's free, it's full of surprises. Sign up now on the Wild Earth website.
it's just so lovely watching these elephants. Have a look, this elephant seems to plant his head just in the water and he's just got his bottom in the air. Oh, it just makes you so happy, doesn't it? Sounds like we've got a rattling testicular, making it quite a racket. And I love the sound of these green bills. So because of the sand forest that we have here in Tembe Elephant Park, it's a very prominent and very great area to find lots of green bill species. Oh, so lovely to hear these green bills calling. Getting very more forested. They like to occur in very thick and dense forests. So Tembe Elephant Park does span for over 300 kilometers squared. It is managed by the Tembe tribe and as well as Izimvelo. It's a KZN wildlife organization. So Tembe Elephant Park was established in 1983 in order to protect these elephants that once migrated between Maputo land as well as between Maputo land and southern Mozambique. So obviously with a lot of the political unrest in Mozambique, I do think it is safer for these elephants to be protected in a sanctuary here in South Africa rather than moving to Mozambique where their future might not be so bright. So this park did open up to the public in 1991 and today it does serve as a critical link in the confrontation area. Alright folks, let's head across to Serendella and see what else has come down to the waterhole. So it looks like it's pool party time over in Thorny Bush as well. Oh, look at this young elephant. We were just talking about young elephants earlier and how their mothers can struggle, the cows can struggle to keep these youngsters disciplined. They can be quite naughty and mischievous little creatures. Oh, look at these two. This youngster came running down so quickly to the water. He just wants to have a swim. Oh my goodness, look at this. This has just made my Friday, watching elephants playing in the water. Lovely breeding herds. So I find it seems to be around about this time of day, so midday is a very popular time for Serendella, for the elephant to come down for a drink, a bit of a pool party. So Mr. Stripes has sent through a bird comment. Apparently Mr. Stripes' spirit bird is a little bee eater. So Mr. Stripes, that is really epic. My spirit bird is also a bee eater. Just lovely birds, very bright, very colourful, all over the place. Never sit in one place for too long. So lovely spirit bird that you have here, Mr. Stripes. Goodness. What chaos! And there's a hippo. So I think there's some different family units that are all coming down, and these youngsters are running all over the place, causing havoc and chaos. Poor hippos just here watching. So I do think this This ruckus was started by these young elephants. They seem to be roaming around causing absolute chaos. So lots of different families, meetings, greetings, interactions. So I guess that is what elephant family politics sounds like. And this poor hippo is just quietly sitting here hoping that no one bothers him. Quite unusual. I've never seen a hippo at this pan before, so lovely to see a big hippo bull. Oh, it was so cool listening to those elephants. Rumblings and grumblings. So the sound of elephants was actually used, is one of the animal vocalizations that was extracted and used in Jurassic Park. So I think they used the sound of elephants, screaming and trumpeting, lions, as well as bears. So they took those three calls and put them all together, and that made up some of the sounds of the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. How incredible. So here you can see now they've kind of split up in their little family groups, and you can see where they were all supposed to be. But I think the little ones definitely didn't do what they were supposed to do, and they were all over the place. And then the cows started shouting, vocalizing, and then the little ones got involved. Oh gosh, how cool. And this hippo, shame, he needs to be careful that these elephants don't all take over the pan. So Polly Watch is asking, have you ever seen an animal damage a camera? Yes, Polly. I have had some of my own trail cameras damaged before, mostly by elephants and hyenas. Both of these two species, elephants and hyenas, the minute they smell humans, they just go into destroy mode. So I've actually got footage somewhere of an elephant that managed to find, I think there was a roadworks team on the road, they'd been working on the road, and this elephant had carried the shovel for a few kilometers. I think he just had a vendetta against humans, and he destroyed this trail camera with a shovel that was in a metal box, and we struggled to retrieve any pieces of this camera, and the last footage was this elephant with a shovel in its hand destroying the camera. Of course, the roadworks team did get into a big trouble for leaving their shovel out and about, but yes, elephants, even in metal boxes, elephants, if there's a scent of people, sometimes they're not too happy. Baboons and monkeys, often you need to protect the camera, put it into a box, otherwise baboons and monkeys can cause quite a lot of damage to your cameras as well. They often come up and investigate and check out the little lens. Oh, our hippo's moving. I think he's a bit cautious of all the elephants getting too close to him. Oh gosh. But yeah, Polly, there are some incredible camera trap footage out there, or trail camera footage out there of animals inspecting cameras. And I've had a GoPro that we managed to put into a salt lick, fixed into a salt lick, and the zebra decided that they wanted to chew on that. Thank goodness it was one of the older GoPros. It was quite large, so they just destroyed the housing a little bit. But animals don't always like these cameras that people put out there. But it is so important for research in order to monitor these different species. I know a lot of different organizations will put out cameras specifically for a species like leopard, lion, or your small nocturnal species. Yep. Just have a quiet moment and listen to these elephants. There's one elephant right next to the camera here that's splashing some water.
This is an unbelievable afternoon.
Even a hyena coming into the action as well now. Oh my word! She's stalking the hyena now. Leopard, hyena, lion, all together in one shot. Oh. Whoa. This is action-packed.
Would you like to know the difference between a male and female wildebeest? You can ask me questions like this in real time. Our safaris are live and interactive here in the heart of Africa. Join me on Safari Live and connect with nature.
That is brilliant.
Real, you say the best kind of roadblock?
Absolutely. Look at this.
Hello, girls.
So cool to see these elephants so close. I mean, in the wild you'd never want to be this close to a wild elephant. Very dangerous to be so close to them unless you're sitting up in a hide. You've got protection, but yeah, never really want to be too close to animals. We always like to give them their space. Ethics is something that's very important to me, and yeah, you know, everyone, that's sometimes pressure to get good photos, to be up close and personal, but yeah, you never want to alter the animal's behavior. You always want animals to be wild in the wild, not disturbed by your presence. So yeah, these elephants in a very thick skin, up to about 2 to 2.5 centimeters, or around about an inch thick in some areas. I mentioned it helps to protect them from scratches and branches and thorns, or being bitten by predators, or fighting with other individuals. Their skin does also help to thermoregulate their bodies, so it helps keeping them cool. That's why it is so wrinkled. So the wrinkles do have a purpose. It's not just because they haven't put any lotion on. All the little wrinkles that they have do help to, yeah, of course, keep them cool, thermoregulate. It increases their surface area. The mud often gets caught in the little cracks and creases and crevices in their skin, which helps to trap moisture, keep them cool. And of course it does protect them from the sun and parasites. So that's why elephants have such thick, wrinkly skin. It must be a very hot day here in Thorny Bush. These elephants all having a lovely mud bath. See that individual on the left hand side scratching his head. So once they've had a mud bath, they often go and scratch themselves on a tree. So look, a lot of the trees around these pans and waterholes will be very soft, very smooth, rubbed smooth by the elephants, rubbing off all this mud from their skin, freeing themselves from parasites, as well as exfoliating, just scratching those itches. Blacksmith lapwing calling there. So in the dry season, in times when there's not much water around, yes, it's so important for these elephants to come and interact with these waterholes, but sometimes these elephants can be very stressed due to heat or lack of food, lack of water. Maybe they've traveled quite a far distance to get to these waterholes. So it's always good to just, when you do pull up to a waterhole, just give the elephants time to settle, kind of read their body language, their behavior a bit, because sometimes they might be a little bit agitated, frustrated, or stressed just due to some external factors. Just give them their space, have a nice drink, just calm down a little bit, because as we saw there, that interaction could have been due to the babies, but also during the dry season there's a lot more vocalization at waterholes due to the high level of stress that these animals go under. Oh, hello girl. So this cow looks a little bit... Sometimes they turn around like that and put their ears up if they're a bit anxious or wary. Maybe they smell something. But I think she just hadn't finished having a drink. So Ollie is asking, could an inexperienced matriarch cause stress in the herd? And Ollie, definitely. So the reason the matriarch will always be the oldest cow, the most experienced cow that knows, I mean, elephants have such an incredible memory, one of the best memory of all land mammals, and that's to help them remember all the paths, all the passage, all the pathways to all the water holes, safe areas, non-safe areas, good grazing areas, places that they might have had a traumatic experience so they don't return to those areas. And that matriarch will then pass her knowledge and information normally onto her daughter, so the next generation, and her daughter will learn from her grandmother all the important things that an elephant matriarch needs to know, but mostly it's all about the pathways, passages, and how to guide a breeding herd in times of drought and times when they're struggling. So if you have an inexperienced matriarch, yes, it most definitely can cause stress amongst a herd, because they might not be able to find water, they might not know where to feed, they might walk into dangerous areas where there might be humans, too much people. So definitely it is so important amongst these little family units that the matriarchs are experienced. They're normally the oldest individuals. So that's why I find here in South Africa, so some of the private reserves in South Africa where you have these fragmented herds, it does cause a bit of confusion and disorientation in these elephants when they don't know how they're supposed to act, how they're supposed to move, where food is. It can take a few generations before they start to settle down and learn the reserve. So it looks like the flavor of our day today is elephant pool parties. So these elephant bulls we were watching earlier, I think they gave in to temptation and they finally decided to come down and have a pool party as well, just like at Tembe and Thorny Bush. Oh goodness. So male elephants will often mount each other, especially when playing like this. So it can be a form of dominance, but also I feel like when they're swimming, and it's just they're playing with each other. They're just letting their hair down and having a great time, which I think humans can take a page out of elephants' books sometimes. You know, it's okay to just let your hair down and just become absolutely silly. Go have a pool party and just have a great time, just like these elephant bulls. So Susie, yes, I agree with you, Susie. These elephant bulls are having a private pool party, very exclusive bulls only pool party here at Rosie's pan. I'm very glad there's no hippos being bothered in this pan by these elephant bulls. Got quite unusual behavior. They're all standing bottoms in. So these bulls, bachelor bulls, will form bonds. So if they meet each other years later, after they've maybe left the herd, they will remember one another. They will mourn if they find the remains of a bull that they used to be in a herd with. So they do form bonds amongst each other. I mean, look at these guys. They're bonding. It is looking very dry over in Olifant West Game Reserve. We are in the midst of our dry season. Summer has arrived. Those August winds, I hope, are done, because we almost got blown away in Mabula by some of those winds, and dry season is definitely upon us, and that's why these elephants are having such a lovely pool party at all of our locations. Oh gosh. Oop. Oh gosh, it's making me laugh so bad. Look at these elephants. They're absolutely ridiculous. But I think if I was also an elephant, I would be very keen to cover my body in water and mud and just cool down, because it can get really hot. Some of these locations, our temperatures will start rising. We're in the early 30 degrees, I'd say, in most parts of South Africa. But I mean, the temperatures have been rising. Some of our locations, you'll be looking at 35, 36 degrees Celsius. Maybe in a few weeks, we'll be heading towards 40 degrees, 50 degrees as the rainy season starts to approach. So don't blame these elephant bulls for enjoying the water cooling off. So Lydia is asking, have you ever seen an elephant get stuck in the mud? So Lydia, yes. I've seen elephants and rhinos getting stuck in the mud, and warthogs. Especially baby elephants. Baby elephants often get stuck in the mud or reservoirs, even in the dam where they struggle to get out, and this will also cause the elephants to start making quite a lot of noise, just like we heard over in Thorny Bush. There'll be trumpeting and rumbling and all kinds of commotion that goes on. The herds get very stressed when baby elephants get stuck in the mud, but it's very cute to see the cows all come together and they try to get the little one out of the mud. They use their feet, they use their trunks, they pull and they push and they shove and they do everything they can, but sometimes there does need to be an intervention, like I've seen with rhinos. I've seen reserve teams going in with land cruisers and straps and pulling out baby elephants from the mud, and rhinos. It just gets a bit complicated if it's a baby and there's a female close by and she won't leave. They might have to chase it away while they remove the little one from the mud, and then they reunite the family together. So yes, it does happen quite often, these big mammals getting stuck in the mud. Obviously, yes, these elephants I mentioned, they're very buoyant, and they're used to being in the water, very good in mud too. But when baby elephants get stuck in the mud, sometimes it's almost like they don't really know what to do, and these elephants really struggle. They don't have hands like us, and their feet can only do so much. So yeah, they do get stuck in the mud from time to time, and in the wild, I'm sure lots of predators do benefit from these animals getting stuck in the mud. It does make for a very easy meal. Wild dogs will also use mud and water as part of their hunting strategy. So wild dogs are very famously known for chasing antelope into water, into mud, even swimming pools, fences, roads, vehicles. Wild dogs are very cunning in this manner. They're very good at using objects or using something to kind of throw their prey off guard in order to make an easy kill. Oops, some more elephants have joined our pool party. It's no longer a private pool party.
For years, we've shared virtual wildlife. Now, let's experience it for real. I'm Lauren Arthur, and I'd love to show you my amazing home here in the Greater Kruger of South Africa. This 5-night journey is an exclusive connection to my piece of untamed Africa. I live here in these gorgeous landscapes surrounded by epic wildlife. The wild is calling, so come and join me.
At Wild Earth, we believe every story has the power to create change. That's why we've launched the Wild Earth Impact Foundation, a non-profit dedicated to conservation and social impact. By showcasing conservation stories, we can change lives, protect nature, and empower communities. We have partnered with Empowers Africa to accept tax-deductible donations from US donors. Your donation will help fund critical programs that support our mission. Join us and be part of the change.
My full name is Cedric Leslie Dold. I grew up mostly in the Lowveld. I grew up here pretty much on the southern side of Kruger National Park, a place called Marloth Park, for most of my years. Something surprising about myself, I did play drums in a band for many years. Best sighting I presented, we found lumber in the 2 cubs, and the cubs are just way big.
So Klopp is asking a question. So Klopp, if you would like to travel with Wild Earth, please check out our website, Wild Earth Travel. There are many amazing adventures there waiting for you to go on. You can even get a custom adventure booked just for you, so please feel free to check out Wild Earth Travel for some of the amazing travel adventures available. We have got a few spots on a travel journey to Tanzania to see the migration with James Henry. That is in February. That is in the Serengeti. That's next year. Very small group size. We also have some adventures going to the Timbavati with Lauren. That is in October this year. Maybe there might be 2 spots available. So yes, we do have some amazing adventures and trips available. If you would like to book and go on one of these adventures, check out our Wild Earth Travel website for more information to join our naturalists on an amazing adventure. So Caden K is asking, could elephants get water stuck in their ears like us? So Caden K, yes, elephants could get water stuck in their ears. It doesn't necessarily bother them too much, but elephants have lots of tiny little filament hairs, tiny little hairs just at their ear openings, which is, if you kind of look between the ear and the base of the eye, there's kind of like a dark shadowy place just inside there. So there's a tiny little ear opening there that they have these tiny hairs that do help to prevent too much water or insects or foreign objects from getting inside their ears. That seems to help them quite a lot. So Chrissy is asking, why are elephant ears so big? So Chrissy, elephants are not able to sweat like us humans. If we overheat and we get hot, we can sweat. Elephants don't have this ability to sweat. So elephants have millions of tiny little blood vessels in their ears. So have a look at this elephant bull on the right. So when elephants get hot, they start to flap their ears, and that cools down all the blood running through these blood vessels and helps them to circulate this cooled blood throughout their body. So that's one of the main reasons that elephants have such large ears, is to help cool themselves down. Obviously the circulation of the air that they're creating with flapping their ears does help as well, but all those tiny little blood vessels filled with blood then get cooled down and circulated through the body. You can imagine these elephants have to survive very extreme temperatures. In some areas where these savanna elephants or bush elephants occur, the temperatures can get up to 52, 55 degrees Celsius. They're out there in the sun every day feeding, looking for food, looking for water, so they do need to be able to cool their bodies down. Listening to the sounds of these elephants drinking and rumbling. I've got a question from Rudy Ruff from South Africa. Is asking, can elephants choke on water? So Rudy, yes, elephants can, I guess you can say they can technically choke on water, although it is very rare. So elephants drink by sucking up water into their trunks, and they only use their trunks as a vessel to transport the water from their water source into their mouth. So once they've sucked up the water in their trunks, which they can suck up to 10 to 12 liters at one time in their trunks, they then squirt this water into their mouths. So normally, choking is quite uncommon, can happen. They just inhale the water in a little bit too quickly, maybe if they're drinking too fast, or sometimes there might be debris or mud or sand that is in the water. But interesting fact about elephants and water is elephants can drink up to 200 liters of water a day. So that's why their trunks are so specially designed and developed in order to act as a vessel to transport this water into their mouths. I mean, think about drinking 200 liters of water a day. I mean, in winter, like now, I struggle to get my 2 liters in. Imagine drinking 200 liters of water a day. I mean, that's crazy. I think I can push in the very hot months, I can maybe push 5 liters of water a day, but that's really pushing it. I don't know if any of our viewers could think about drinking so much water in a day. Now, elephants will often spend, like these bachelor bulls, they'll come down to a waterhole, elephants, if they're passing by or in the area. But generally the hotspot times or the prime times for elephants to come down to drink would be early hours of the morning and late hours of the evening. These elephants, they're just relaxing. They'll often play in the water, elephants too, so if they've been mud bathing and their trunk is dirty, they'll often, when they get to water, especially little Donyo, I see them doing it quite a lot, they'll kind of suck water into their trunks and then clean the water out, splash it out, and then before they actually start drinking. Oh, this one is rubbing his eye. I think he had a long week. Shame. So this elephant bull that's only got one tusk here, it doesn't really benefit him in any way, because Yeah, he will be hindered in his ability while feeding, also not as dominant. He'll probably be less dominant in this bachelor group because he's only got one tusk. These bulls, they'll probably hang out here for a bit and then they'll carry on feeding, and then late hours of the afternoon they might make their way to another waterhole. But generally the breeding herds, early hours of the morning, late hours of the afternoon, if they haven't found a water source in between.
This unfolds in front of you.
What does it take to handle the wild? Balance. Determination. Focus.
Yaku!
And gear that can take a beating so you don't have to. My full name is Cedric Leslie Dold. The best driver at Wild Earth, it is me. I believe I'm the best driver. I think so because I've... best part of my job, I say, is just to try and look out for these animals, track them down. I love tracking animals. I love looking for, fresh tracks, and if you can find them, it's just at the moment of accomplishment. If I wasn't a presenter for Wild Earth, I would be the drummer for AC/DC.
Some of you out there are brilliant at identifying hyenas.
Now, why do you think people have got this huge misunderstanding about reptiles?
Right in front of me there was the face of an astounded buffalo bull.
This is live and interactive, so everybody, if you have any questions and comments, please do send them through and let us know what you'd like.
Birding, but I think I really got into my birding when I was working in the Drakensberg. Obviously, you don't always see lots of animals in some of these very open grassland areas, so it's always good to know thing or two about birds. Oh, hello, look, we've got a hippo. Our big male hippos come back to the waterhole. How cool is this? We were just talking about this guy. He's often around. Wow, check at that. Isn't that awesome? Oh, hippo that we were just talking about. I think he heard us. I think he knew we were talking about him. Thank goodness he's come in now after the elephants have finished their little private pool party. Otherwise, he might have been in the way a little bit. So we have a question from Caden is asking, are kudu the biggest antelope? So Caden, kudu are a very tall antelope. Their shoulder height, they're measuring in at about 1.2 to 1.5 meters, but I won't say that they are the tallest. I mean, eland are much larger than kudu. I mean, some eland You can get an eland at about 1.6 to 1.8 meters, or if you're measuring in feet, that's around about 5 to 6 feet. Eland also weigh a lot more. Big male eland can weigh over 800 to 2,000 pounds, or 400 to 1,000 kilograms, whereas a kudu, big male kudu, is probably weighing just over 200 kilograms, and a big female is around 150 to just under 200 kilograms. So I'd say your eland is probably coming in at being one of the taller antelopes at our locations that we've been watching. Theo is commenting, party's over. Yes, Theo, it does seem like the elephant pool party is over, and the hippo has arrived at just the right time. Otherwise, yeah, shame, he would have struggled with having to fight over the waterhole with these elephants. And we have another question here from Riley, and Riley's asking, can all these antelope interbreed? So Riley, in the wild, animals remain genetically separate. There's no natural inbreeding that does happen, but some species can interbreed. I know, some giraffe species can interbreed. I know the African wildcat, there's a big problem with African wildcats interbreeding with domestic cats. So there are some species that might be closely related, like donkeys and horses, and zebra and donkeys. I've seen a zonky before. It's a zebra cross a donkey in a village. I think something happened and he got into the national park, and very interesting. Look like a donkey, but they have striped legs like a zebra. So yeah, there are chances of some animals interbreeding, but that's why it's so important to keep domestic animals or livestock separate from these wild animals to avoid this inbreeding. Oh, looks like there's a young bull that's just also come in for a drink. So happy to see this hippo back. It's been quite a busy location today. Lovely to see all these elephants having a pool party. You know, there is a little family of dwarf mongoose that do live in this area. If we're lucky, sometimes we see them coming down for a drink, but fortunately when elephants, it's a bit busy. Those small mammals. Alrighty folks, why don't we head across to El Doño for the last few minutes of the show. Wow, check at this. Oh my goodness. We've got giraffe, we've got elephants, we've got zebra. So much happening in El Doño. So it looks like we've got our female giraffe on the right, and then looks like we have a male. So I know we had a question earlier about the difference between male and female giraffe. Well, this is a very good example here. You can see this male's ossicones, very thick, quite bald on the top. He's quite a youngster, so you won't necessarily be able to tell the thickness of his neck, but generally have a look at those ossicones. A few elephants balancing their trunks, just resting. El Doño has been very busy today, and it looks like we still have our floppy-eared elephant friend on the right-hand side here. So he's been at the pan this whole afternoon since we've been live. Thank goodness he's got some more elephant buddies that have just joined him at the pan. Also, lots of elephant balls today. Over at Sorondella and Thorny Bush, there was a nice breeding herd activity, lots of babies vocalizing and trumpeting, but mostly we've been seeing all the big elephant bulls. Looks like this male giraffe is testing this female to see if she is receptive. If she's an estrus, she's ready for mating. But he's quite a young male. I don't think she will allow him opportunity to mate with her. So when a female giraffe is in season, when she's ready for mating, she will normally attract an array of males that will follow her, but she will wait until the biggest and most impressive male arrives before she allows him mating rights. So this youngster, I don't think he stands much of a chance. Oh, check out these zebra. The stallions trying to fight with each other here. You see this male on the far side is trying to prevent this other stallion from coming to the waterhole. A nasty kick and bite that can be delivered from these zebras. Would not want to mess with them. I do feel like I'm getting a bit dizzy at the moment watching the zebra up and down. It's such a lovely afternoon. The clouds have cleared quite nicely in Aldonio. It was quite cloudy earlier. Got a bit of clearance of the sky. Lovely sky there. It's always an incredible location. We had so many species earlier. We had oryx as well. We did also have some warthogs. Been an influx, a constant flow of zebra moving through. Could be part of the zebra that are moving through these areas, forming up the migration. I know the migration is happening at the moment. Just such a lovely opportunity to be able to sit here on this Friday afternoon and watch all this wildlife. So unfortunately this elephant bull's got a bit of floppy ear there. Could have damaged his cartilage while fighting with other bulls or moving through the very thick vegetation or even while feeding. So Wildlife Lady, thank you for joining us today live at the Waterhole. Wildlife Lady is thanking our FC team and all the Zoomies for a lovely afternoon. I've had such a delightful time with you today. Look forward to joining you next week live at the Waterhole. Penelope Kenyon, thank you for joining us, and see you on the Sunset Safari. From me and the rest of the Wild Earth team, I just want to wish you all a happy weekend, and looking forward to seeing what we find live at the Waterhole next week. Have a lovely weekend, folks, and I hope that you enjoyed the show with us today.
Well, hello everyone, good morning and welcome to your sunrise safari right here on Wild Earth. We are coming to you live from Sandringham Private Game Reserve in a rather overcast morning, not too much of a sunrise. My name is Amy and behind the camera with me is Panda. There we go. We're very excited to be here, be out. It's chilly this morning and we're looking forward to seeing everything and anything that we can find for you. The birds are starting to wake up and it is really a lovely day to be out. But I'm not alone. We have both Leon and Rolf who are joining us for the sunrise safari, and Leon is there in the Sabi Sand and Rolf is in Amakhala, and we are going to have a fabulous time out in the bush. They're excited as well.